Hi Aries, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your September 1st to the 15th, 2021 reading for you. Now, this reading is going to focus on how to increase our intuitive abilities. If this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Aries, September 1st to the 15th, 2021, Aries, increasing intuitive abilities. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading, and show me clearly. Fantastic. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Right, at the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We start off with Temperance, which is Sagittarius energy. If we have this within our natal chart, it's coming through very powerfully as a rooting energy, as an energy that guides us and grounds us. Now, with the Magician, we have as the next card, this is saying step into your power, step before the altar of your existence, but make sure that you are balanced. So finding our balance, finding our harmony, and claiming our power is going to be absolutely paramount for us during this time. It moves us to our inner self. We have the Three of Water, the Three of Cups, and we have the Six of Earth, the Six of Pentacles. In our emotional self, we have the Nine of Cups, and we have the Ace of Swords. In the public arena, we have the Knight of Swords, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, right? We're definitely also taking the gift of the Ace of Swords, not as profoundly as if it were from the same deck here, but very profoundly in the way that we're saying, I have worth, I have, power, I am the warrior during this time. And it moves us to the Knight of Pentacles. Yes, we're coming through very, very prominently as a knight. Now, with earth sign energy, this is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. If we have air sign energy, earth sign energy within our natal chart, this is coming through very profoundly in our public arena self, in the way that we move forward. But also during this time, we are moving forward as knights, as defenders, as people who are saying, I am claiming my independence, I am claiming my understanding, I am opening up this door for me, and nothing and no one is going to hold me back, stop me, or make me doubt myself. Now, let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of during this time. What is the energy that Aries needs to be mindful of? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. So there's two. There's the Lord, which represents us in the major arcana. We can have a tendency during this time to kind of get in our own way. And we have the Princess of Cups, which is water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. If we're born on the cusp with Pisces, that could be the case. But this is also going to be a time where we are very pulled by extremes. So with the Lord, this is somebody who says, I know what I'm doing, I know how I'm moving forward, I know what I want from my life, this is what I'm going after. With the Princess of Cups, this is going to be a person who's a little bit more unsure, who needs to have somebody there to kind of like save them, guide them, help them to gain their understanding, to gain their footing within the world. So we're going to be swayed by these two types of people. We're also going to find that our intuitive energy, our psychic energy, our, energy to be able to help people, healing energy, will be drained the most by these two types of people. One who says, I have everything under control, I just need a little help, I just need a little guidance. The other one who doesn't have everything under control and needs you to fill her cup, needs you to, help explain things, help guide her forward, help, with so many things. And you're going to think, oh my gosh, this poor person, I need to help them. But what is really happening is that they're not learning. They have learned how to manipulate people in order to get what they want. This person of strength isn't learning how to bend and sway with the wind. They are making others do that for them. So this is going to be a time where we just have to be very mindful of the extremes and the people saying, oh, but you're helping me. And us really realizing, I'm not helping you, I'm enabling you. And those are very different things. Now, our chakra energy for this time is angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Oh my gosh, we have both the Earth Star chakra right here. So it is rebirth and nurturing. We need to nurture ourselves as we are reborn, as we embrace our power, our intuition, our passion, and our desires. This is a time where we need to be connected with the earth. Walk outside, barefooted or in flat-foot shoes, barefoot shoes, there we go, and being able to connect with the world around us, sitting outside in the sun, being able just to say, this is me, this is what I desire, this is what I want in life, or just, going outside for a little bit, breathing in the fresh air. We need to be connected with the Earth Star chakra, with our earth, with our desires, with our transformation and power. It leads us to balance within ourselves. Now we have temperance right here. We are going to see ourselves being transformed by the way we take in the pressure around us, because we have her pouring a cup of tea. So if you're like me, a cup of tea is just the most soothing, comforting, food, drink out there. And that is because it centers us. This is a time where we need to find whatever it is that centers us, whether it be a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, whether it be going for a walk, whether, whatever it is that centers us, but also does not take away our spiritual stimulation, does not deaden our senses. So be very mindful. Like if we have something that might be a little bit harmful, that centers us, we might want to step back from that during this time and say, how do I transform? How do I take the tea leaves, add the water and make a different drink, make tea. Now, this is going to be a time for us spiritually where we see the very kind of essence of our blood transforming, meaning that the very essence of ourselves, what we desire, the ocean that flows through our body, is transforming. We need to find our balance within that transformation and within that understanding. It brings us to the magician. As we transform, as we find our balance, as above, so below. As we believe it, so it becomes. This is a time where our mind is astoundingly strong. Now, this could be for a blessing to say, yes, I'm succeeding, I'm conquering, I'm moving forward, I'm happy, I'm contented, I'm going after what I need. But if we happen to get into a negative mind space during this time, if we happen to get overwhelmed or angry or feel taken advantage of, this can ruin this whole entire time for us. Because when we stand before the altar of our existence, we're going to feel like a fraud. We're going to feel overwhelmed. We're going to feel angry. We're not going to be able to take our spiritual, intuitive, psychic abilities and say, this is what I'm building within myself. I'm building my intuitive understanding. I will hit roadblocks along the way, but I am stepping into the power and the brilliance of myself. With the magician, what we have to do is, as we claim our elemental self, as we claim our passion and our intuition and our mind and our desires, we understand that the thoughts that I have, The time that I put into things, it matters. It matters to me, and I need to put this time into me. If I don't, I will not develop the way that I want to. I will not connect the way that I want to. Because the first way that we start with embracing our intuitive abilities is to embrace our own intuition, is to embrace our own self. Not to say, oh, it has to be on this grand scale instantaneously. No, we start with ourselves and we work outward. It brings us to the Six of Earth, to the Six of Pentacles, finding balance, finding understanding, kind of growing and gaining from what doesn't seem like anything. And not one person taking more than the other. In our inner selves, we need to see ourselves growing and understanding. We need to see ourselves balancing. That's going to be so important. That's why temperance, balance, comes through so strongly here. As we see ourselves balance, as we see ourselves, converging on the water, on the essence of life, as we see ourselves becoming more than what we thought we could be, we find that balance. We find that understanding of what we desire. We see ourselves with openness and with integrity. We see the sharing of information, the sharing of energy, and it brings us to the Three of Cups. Now, the Three of Cups for me is always the sense of be very mindful of the people who were supposed to celebrate you within your life, but couldn't. The people who held you back and that kind of pop up in your head as, well, of course I can't do it. My caregiver, my parent said this, my, friend said that, my lover who I was just absolutely in love with told me I would never make it. This is a time where those negative thoughts, where those negative words that have taken root inside of us for way too long get called out. And as they get called out, we start to really focus on the people who love us, who respect us. We start to focus on the love and the respect that we have for ourselves, the way we want to open up the door, and the fact that we are worth so much more than what we had maybe even originally thought. Maybe we downplayed us, had that kind of imposter syndrome going on. How can I stand before the altar of my existence? How can I balance anything when there is nothing worthwhile to balance? There is everything worthwhile to balance. You are not a mistake, and you will never be a mistake. This is a time to embrace the inner harmony, the inner understanding, and it leads us to the Nine of Cups. It leads us to this place of blessings. It leads us to having things more figured out than we know, than we even think. And so when we have the Nine of Cups come at our hearts, we need to embrace the blessings of our hearts, the little miracles that we think, oh my gosh, that's not a miracle, that's just life. It's like, no, there are so many miracles that we go throughout life, that we are gaining an understanding of, that are shaping us. If we sit there and we say, this is a miracle, this changed me, this is a miracle, this brought me forward. It can be, getting a $1 off, when you go in to buy a coffee, or it can be, having just enough gas to get to the gas station to fill it up. This is going to be a time where we need to be aware of that. We need to be aware of the little blessings around us, because that's going to raise our energy vibration. Instead of saying, well, of course it was supposed to work out well. If it didn't work out well, I would just get angry. That's being a very base energy vibration. Here, we look at our blessings. We look at the times where things go right, and we honor that power and that brilliance within us. And it moves us to the Ace of Swords. It moves us to God's Source Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, handing us a gift of knowledge, handing us a gift of cutting through doubts and fears and negativity and the cobwebs to say, this is what I stand for. This is what I want. This is what I need. This is who I am. And as we take this gift of the Ace of Swords into our heart, it's when our heart and our mind come together. It's when we start to find this balance between the emotional, instantaneous reaction and the mental, logical reaction. And we find the place that we want to stand. And as we do so, the Knight of Swords comes forward. And the Knight of Swords says, I'm the warrior here. The Knight of Swords leads us to the happily ever after, leads us to the fairy tale. Now, it doesn't have to be anybody else's fairy tale. We're not talking about Disney here. What we are talking about is what our soul greatly desires. In the waking world, we're going to be defending the way that we want to move forward, what we want from ourselves, what we desire from our own actions, from our own dreams. And this is going to be a time where we need to be in a place of actions, of words, of coming together, and of greater insight. As we embrace this greater insight, as we embrace these actions, as we embrace ourselves, we are going to be able to stand more firmly and more authentically in our intuitive truth, to trust the way the mind and the heart speak to each other, and trust the guidance that we are given. It moves us to the Knight of Pentacles. It moves us to slowly and steadily, and I love that we have the fastest moving knight and the slowest moving knight coming together. It moves us to slowly and steadily embracing new horizons, seeing the seeds that we have planted come to fruition, come to something, start to build a garden that we can eat deeply from, that can nourish us and sustain us in a very real way. And this is a garden for our spiritual selves. This is a garden to be able to say, but this is what I want. It doesn't have to be anybody else's dream but our own. And as we embrace that dream, as we embrace that understanding, we embrace ourselves more and more and more. We start moving forward slowly and steadily towards something worth building. Not what other people expect us to build, but what we want to build for ourselves. This is not going to be a time where everything falls into place instantaneously. We have that ability with the magician. But what happens is, as we're taking these gifts, as we're especially taking the gift of the Ace of Swords, being powerful and knowledgeable and mindful of our words, what we are going to find is that as we embrace our mind, as we embrace our eloquence, there we go, and elegance of speech, we start to see ourselves breaking down barriers that have held us back for too long and being able to move forward more towards what we want to build within our lives, the foundation that we greatly desire. It moves us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, and that's the Chariot. The Chariot is Cancer energy, but it is also the sense of letting our emotions take over. Just reign free and say, that's the intuition. No, it's the mind and the heart coming together. It's never going to be one extreme or another. It's understanding the subconscious and conscious part of ourselves, and also knowing that during this time, again, we are going to be very drawn to people of extremes, of the Lord who says, this is what needs to be done, of the Chariot that says, these are the emotions that guide me forward. We need the harmonizing factor between it, because that's going to be what really opens up the doors for us. And also, we need the balance, because when these energies come in, we can't be swept away each time by each and every one of them. It moves us to our subconscious chakra energy, and that's inner strength. That's the solar plexus chakra. This is a time where if we listen to our guts, if we listen to ourselves, we start to see ourselves breaking out of the shell that held us back, that denied us our voice, that kept us from moving forward the way that we needed to, the way that we wanted to. It moves us then to our subconscious rooted self, and that is the Hierophant, Taurus energy. But this is saying, embrace your traditions. Embrace what is imperative for you. Know what it is that you want. And say, I am the ruler of this. The Emperor, as we are represented by the Emperor in the Major Arcana, the Emperor is powerful. But in medieval times, the Hierophant trumped the Emperor. And so during this time, to be true to our authenticity, to say, this is what I spiritually need to be able to exist, to be able to thrive, to be able to connect with spirit, and honoring that takes us to the next level. It brings us to our subconscious inner self, which is the Six of Water, the Six of Cups. Nostalgia comes into play. We can think that things were better when we were more intuitive, when we were younger, before the world got a hold of us, or we can start really having our intuition hindered by what somebody else said. Oh my gosh, that's all just, poppycock. I can't believe you're being so naive. When are you going to get serious about things, get a real job, do a real thing? And it's like, no, you don't get to. You don't get to have your life controlled by somebody else. This is a time when we embrace our own harmony, our own balance. And this is a time where we start to use what we love to harmonize and center us. It moves us then to our subconscious emotional self. And that's the Page of Cups. Water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. We are becoming a student of our emotions. We're becoming a student of our hearts. Our hearts are saying, learn from me. Be guided by me. Let me open up the gates for you. And we are going to find that inspiration comes from the most unlikely of places, but in the most powerful of spaces. It moves us then to the subconscious public arena, and that is the Fool. It's time to take the leap of faith. It's time to go after. It's time to dare to be wrong in order to be the hero of your story. Nobody gets to be the hero by playing it safe. And as you guys know, if you've listened to my videos before, In order to be a hero, you must first be considered the fool. You must first take the risk that they will laugh, that they will mock, that they will not understand, the proverbial they. The sense of conforming, having more of an authority than going against the grain and saying there's more out here for me. This is a time subconsciously here, Aries, where we have to say there is more out there for me than even I can realize. And by doing so, we start to fly. We start to leap forward in such a way that freedom truly comes in. Okay. All right, Aries. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the intuitive power that is awakening and guiding us, that is an intrinsic part of who we are and how we're developing. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aries.